Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I would like to talk to you about the EMA Scalper. This EMA Scalper arrows indicator is available for purchase on MQL5 website and on my own website. It will be freely available for the first few weeks while I'm working on the scanner, and after that it will be a paid indicator, and my site also has all of these extra indicators that this one uses. So let's go over the basic strategy on how it works. So the first signal is the EMA line crossover signal, which is the main signal. So it's mandatory. I'll go over the settings. So in EMA there is a faster EMA and there is a slower EMA. The faster EMA is this pink line and the slower is this blue line. Whenever the faster EMA crosses the slower upwards, it is a buy signal, and whenever it crosses it downwards, it is a sell signal. And as you can see, for faster mode default settings, we have the period for both set to 5, and the faster price, it works on close price, and the slower one works on open price. You can change this to any value you like. These are just the default sample values. And the other indicator that you will find in the extras is this one. Here you can set the show MA line to true, or you can also use the arrows, which are much more convenient. And as you can see, for every buy signal you get the blue arrow, and sell signal gives you these small red arrows. But these are way too many, so we will go over the next setting in this indicator, which is the NRTR lines. Now NRTR is the support and resistance indicator, where these red lines, they are the resistance, and these blue lines, they are the support. Let me show you the extra indicator for NRTR. You can set the NRTR shadow multiplier, which are these dotted lines, this one light blue and this one orange, and you can set this multiplier to any value. Suppose I have it at 1, then it will be a lot closer to the SR lines, and if I have it at 1.5, it will be slightly farther. By default we have 1.5 set because 1 gives very few signals. So for the second check, if the price goes inside the NRTR shadow, then it is a sell signal. Suppose it goes inside the resistance shadow, and suppose it goes inside the support shadow, then that is a buy signal. So the NRTR shadow check, this is an optional check, and this is the second check. Now the third check is if the volume bar is high. So NRTR alone isn't enough to give you a good enough signal, which is why we have these volume lines. Before we talk about volume, let me just show you another setting, the number of bars in the shadow. So suppose this buy signal was outside the shadow, then it will check for this 5 number of bars back, like right here. As you can see, this cell arrow is outside the NRTR shadow, whereas this 1 bar back, the high of this is inside the shadow, and you can also set that to the price type. If you keep price open, then this signal will be ignored because NRTR shadow does not have this open line. by default this is set to price high and low, so this will be high. Okay, so going back to volume, the same way, the number of bars before this arrow, you can set that and it will check for a strong sell signal. Right here there is a sell arrow and it will check if the volume bars, if I set that to true, then this signal will go away because there are no sell bars within the past 2 bars. Now the volume bars, as you can see these red and green bars, the red bar indicates a strong sell volume, the green bar indicates a strong buy volume, the purple, it indicates a medium sell, and these blue bars, they indicate a medium buy volume. And this indicator, this extras indicator, this one sets these bars and it will be available in the extras folder. For now I'll remove the volume bars so that we can talk about the next settings. And you can also set the number of bars to a higher value as you like. Keeping volume bars on, it is very good for if you're using it for binary options, but if you're using it for scalping, then you can always keep it off. Next setting that we need to talk about is the HTF trend alignment, the higher time frame trend alignment. So it will check the higher time frames and whether the MA is in uptrend or downtrend. So the same way, if faster MA has crossed the slower MA and during the signal bar, if the faster MA is above the slower MA, then that will be a good uptrend. And same way, if the faster MA is below the slower MA, that would be a good downtrend. And it will check the number of higher time frames that you set. It will check for the trend for those. Right here, if I set this to true, and I can set the number of HTFs to check, and if I set it to suppose 2 time frames and the starting time frame is 1 hour, then it will check the H1 and the H4 for the MA trend. And in case the trend isn't there, then you get this debug message, no HTF. And you can set all of these debug messages to on and off right here. Show debug text true or false. If you feel like it's cluttering your chart, then just set it to false. But if you would like to know exactly why a signal was skipped, then I would suggest that you set it to true. And you also get the reason why a signal is being skipped by going over these logs that you see. I'm not sure if you see the logs on the screen. Right here. You will also get the reason for why a signal is skipped if you go over the journal logs. And if you feel like you are getting too many logs, then you can always set the journal logs to false as well. Right here, see detailed journal logs to false. Let me set the HTF to false. So HTF check is very useful when you are looking for a much higher trend, and these kinds of signals where volatility is low. For avoiding these kinds of signals, you can always set the volume check to true. And you can keep the HTF check false if you're just scalping. If you would like much higher trends, then you can set it to true. And now the final check right here, the slope check. This check, it will look for the TMA slope, and right now the slope type is set to both. If you would only like to scalp during ranging markets, you can set it to ranging. If you want only trending markets, you can set that, or you can set it to both. So when you have slope both, it will ignore. Let me just show you the extra indicator that you have for slope check. You have this TMA slope indicator that I will provide in the extras folder and right here. So when the TMA lines are going upwards, you will get a green slope. When they are going downwards, you will get a red slope. And you can always set the slope calculation threshold, so high and low threshold, and you can set the TMA type over here. TMA, by default, this slope indicator, it provides you all of these types, and the EMA scalper arrows, this one also provides you with every possible TMA type. And you can set the slope threshold, and you can also set the slope period. Bars are basically the number of bars back for which it will calculate the slope. So suppose the TMA line is going up in this direction, then it will calculate the slope for the 5, like point this and 5 bars back, that point. It will calculate the slope between those 2 points. And you can set the TMA other values, and finally the TMA price, and that will calculate this slope. And if you have set the slope to both, then it will make sure that the slope is not going downwards, and it will allow the upward or the ranging markets. If you set it to only trending, then it will use this threshold, and it will only allow the signals when slope is above that threshold. And same way, if the threshold is 10, it will for sell signals, it will only allow when slope is minus 10 or anything below that. And you can also set the max spread. Currently we have 0, and 0 means to skip this check. And the same way, if you don't want to check the NRTR shadow, and if you just want to check if price is above or below these NRTR support and resistance lines, then set this to 0, and it won't check if the price is inside the shadow or not. Finally, we have the alerts. You can get the pop-up alerts or push notification emails or file alerts. You can also define your custom file, and all of these settings will be described in detail in my website. And while I'm developing the scanner, for the first few weeks, this indicator will be available freely, because I would like to know what you think, and I would like to get your honest reviews. So you can always get it for free on MetaTrader MQL5 website. And finally, when I have created the scanner, I will keep the scanner free on my website. And the scanner will be a very simple scanner. It will just have the arrows up and down when you get a buy or a sell signal, and a bracket with the number of bars back when that arrow occurred. So it will be a very simple scanner. It will just help you find these signals across every possible pair that you select. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoy using this indicator, and please leave your honest reviews on what you think, so that I can make this even better. And once the scanner is up, I will update all the information on my website. I really hope you enjoy using it. Thanks guys.